Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 horror thriller Spiral, a film that is directed by Curtis David Harder and stars Jeffrey Bowyer-Chapman, Ari Cohen, Jennifer Laporte, Lachlan Monroe, Chandra West and Ty Wood. Now this film focuses on a same-sex couple that move to a small town in America in order to live the quiet life and be in a nice place to raise their teenage daughter. However, one of the partners, Malik, who has experienced serious oppression in the past in regards to his sexuality, has got real concerns about this small town mentality and their thoughts and feelings towards same-sex couple. And this escalates as the film goes on, but there may be something far more sinister going on. What is that? You'll have to watch the film. Right, what are my thoughts on Spiral? Well, this is a film that I've been interested in seeing. I enjoyed the trailer. I thought it was an interesting trailer. You got real vibes from that trailer. I mean, it does describe the trailer as a cross between Polanski and Peele. And I get that comparison. This film definitely does have a vibe of like a Get Out film crossed with Wicker Man, I suppose. But it's not really in either of those films' league at all. But that's not to say this is a bad film. There's actually quite a lot here to enjoy in this film. And it's a slow burn of a film. It's a psychological horror, I would say. With a very slow burn, with a central performance by Jeffrey Bowyer-Chapman as Malik that really drives this film forward. His paranoia and fears are very tangible in this film, and as an audience member you're with him because you can sense that something isn't right as well. These townsfolk and neighbours are all acting really creepy and really weird, and there is a definite vibe going on that something just isn't right, and this film balances that quite well. You've got a very uneasy feeling watching this film because you're waiting for something to happen, and you know something's going to happen, you're just not sure what or when. Now that's not to say that when something does happen it's maybe a little bit underwhelming. I mean, there are some shocking moments in the film, I'm not going to lie, in particular the last 10 minutes. But once that shock subsides, you're left then with far more questions than answers, unfortunately. It's one of those films that is going to leave you with a niggling sense of frustration, because there are problems with it in regards to plot holes. For example, someone keeps breaking into the house and graffitiing things and other things take place, and he doesn't discuss it with his partner Malik, not really. He just kind of keeps it to himself, these fears and insecurities, which seems odd. And there's other plot points as well. They show you things in the film and then do nothing with it to generate, I suppose, fear. It's one of those films that uses cheap scare tactics as well, to generate a scare. Things like trees banging on windows, people insisting on walking around in the dark in this film. I do not understand why anybody does that in any film, never mind a horror film. You hear something odd's going on, you're a bit scared, you're a bit nervous, turn on the light then. Why do people not do that? And there's far too much of that going on in this film as well. I understand they're trying to build tension and stuff, but from my perspective it breaks immersion because it's not reality. It's quite an unnerving film to watch because of that sense of unease while you're watching this film. Like I say, you're feeling uncomfortable watching it because of the subject matter in regards to the same-sex couple and this small town mentality and things. You feel their sense of injustice and insecurity as well. So the film is good at doing that, but it's also good at keeping in the back of your mind that something definitely isn't right here. And you're right, something isn't right. If you want to find out, you'll have to watch the film. But it's not It's not what I kind of expected. It's half what I expected. And then, like I say, when you get the conclusion to the film, you're kind of left scratching your head. And it leaves you with that sense of, oh God, did that just happen? And then you kind of, oh, but, and then you've got all these questions, and that's not a bad film. I think it's always a testament of a pretty good film if it keeps you thinking when the end credits have rolled, and this does do that. There's a lot going on here in this film in regards to what it's trying to put on screen and the story it's trying to tell. But you almost get the sense of, when the film finishes, hang on a minute, it was leading me down the garden path a couple of times here, in regards to red herrings or what you think's happening. And there's something that happens at the end as well, and I can't spoil it, that just makes you think. It made me think, well, why didn't you send that to the authorities? And if you watch the film, you'll know what I mean. But somebody finds something that someone has left behind in the film, and you look at it and you think, well, you look at that and you think, well, why leave that there? Why didn't you just send it to the authorities? Because there's quite a lot of evidence on it, if you like. So it's a bit inconsistent. There's plot holes kind of all over the place, but it's a good psychological horror. There are some shocking factors, shock factor tactics put in. It's a bit of a slow burn, but it's a nicely put together film, a nicely acted film, and it does keep you on edge for most of the film, and you feel quite uncomfortable watching it. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. There's a lot going on with it. I think it could have been better, but I certainly was pretty entertained watching it. So that is my review for Spiral. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will be back with more content on Screen Stars very, very soon.